I think some of the key strengths of this lesson related to the way in which the tasks were structured. There was a range of sequential, really scaffolded activities designed to build on skills, and they were incrementally developed throughout the lesson. And this was a particularly strong feature of the lesson. It worked very well. The planning, the preparation was meticulous and ensured that the lesson flowed as well as it could do at a good pace, and with a good range of tasks that were really matched to the needs of the students, and this enabled them to make better than expected progress. The tasks built well on the students' progress and confidence as well, which was quite an interesting aspect of it. You could see throughout the lesson that they were becoming more confident in their views and thoughts about the particular topic and their ideas of their characters within the crews. Their attitudes to learning were extremely positive. They wanted to do well, they were engaged with the activities, and they were really kind of fully involved in the tasks. The assessment grids were used very effectively, and most of the questioning from the teacher was also particularly good. She was at times very good at targeting questions to the specific students. However, there were some times when her question was not as targeted as it could be and didn't actually dig as deep as it could have done. She could have probed just a little bit more with them. The marking quality was really strong. There were some comments in the marking that showed very clearly exactly what needed to be done to improve the work, and this was very helpful to the students. And when they were demonstrating this in the books, it was clear that this was something that happens over time, it's an established routine, and they would benefit from the quality of marking that they receive. Some aspects of the lesson that were not quite as good as they could have been were that not all students fully understood some of the instructions. And for example, on one of the sheets, the word sustained was used. And when the observer questioned the students about this word, they really couldn't explain exactly what the word meant. The teacher read out from the board quite a sizable chunk of text, rather than actually getting the students to do this instead. And I think that would have helped with oracy skills, literacy skills, all that kind of aspect of it. Differentiation throughout this lesson was not as good as it could have been. Some students didn't actually make as much progress because it wasn't totally matched to their needs. However, again, within all that, there were some examples of good differentiation with the scaffolding writing tasks and aids that they got, and also the punctuation checklist which was used, which was the boy produced and clearly is used to using that as a good aid memoir. So some exemplification of the way in which the students are learning the lessons could have been a little bit more detailed. I feel that the teacher didn't quite kind of nail that as much as she could have done. There were times when the teacher was actually working harder than the students, and I think that needs to be just kind of borne in mind. All that said, apart from the odd occasion of spoon feeding and just over kind of helpfulness from the teacher, just wanting them to do well and telling them too much information, I feel that the students made good progress in the lesson, so therefore achievement was good. And this was as a direct result of the impact of the quality of teaching, which was also good. And their attitudes to learning, the behaviour for learning, and the general way in which they cooperated throughout the lesson was also good. I think the observer's questioning was extremely good in this lesson, and I think it was clear that by probing further with the students, he was getting a very good picture of how much progress was being made over time. And some of the examples of which were being used here by the observer were really showing that the insight into the understanding that the pupils were making over time was very clear. This observer picked up some very good questions, and certainly some that I will use in the future.